was just thinking about someone I used to know. My cousin. The Queen, in fact. A tyrant. I tried to stop her, but things don't always go according to plan. She cast me out to a forgotten island, and made short work of my allies, too. Lucky for me, I was able to commandeer a ship, and began a new life for myself, out on the high seas. Aye, but I hear that the Queen is at it again. And there's something darker behind her madcap schemes this time. If I don't stop her, I don't know who will.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken, but instead I became part of their story.
new dawn, a new day. Now, to get control of this barge before sundown.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
What are you smiling about?
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me. You're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Ooh, nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. Fair. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
No lesions, no trauma.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade.
My, look at the concentration. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you one for your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Good gods, there's been a murder here. The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are? Small ones this time. We'll find out who did it. What? Nothing to see here.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. We'll find out who did.
She looks up at you with a...
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Not with that collar on you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open and bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. Who's your real? You let me know if you hear anything.
Please, please, please! A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound...
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one. Rolling dice, deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with a mirror.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite...
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last.
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue. Efficient.
As you were forced onto this ship in the dead of night, you walked the length of the hull, running your hand along the timber as if it were a woman's thighs. I must say, I've never heard so many pet names for dead wood before.
She pats you on the shoulder.
There, no need to be a sourpuss. You don't have to worry. I don't lick and tell.
With me, when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Lucky find.
I'm busy watching for clues, Sauce.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded.
Watch your back, new fish.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now...
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws... Ifan grins, flat...
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from... no. The dead man. Finn, is it? I'd no business with him.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy. I've heard a lot. Nothing good. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself. Not interested in the son of the Divine himself. I don't blame you one bit. But Vic here will blow up.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, dwarf.
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet.
Name.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawl something illegible down.
Away with you!
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of...
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand him right over the side of the ship with it.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Slop as food. I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Right.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Majesty's...
You...
Well, if it ain't the beast of the sea, I'll be. Shouldn't you be off yo-ho-hoing on your own ship instead of stowing away on this one?
Come on. Please, Losa. I forgot how to sing. I did.
Oh, nobody special, just a carpenter I am. But every dwarf worth it, so the tales ain't so tall, eh? Shame to see you cooped up here with us. Still, better collared than noosed, I say.
Always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest.
They're everywhere now, the Magisters, in my home.
Closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and... Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat.
Well, well. What have we here?
The lizard looks you up and down. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my belief. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Your kind always hung closest to our divine.
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most on then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? Yes, if you sprout hair as copiously on other regions of your physique, I don't doubt you're well versed in the secrets of grooming. So, 3 questions asked, 3... As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. My slave, of course. Oh, but... Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Oh, hi! You're a dwarf. My best friend is a dwarf. Her name is Esther. She's smaller than me, but stronger.
Do you know Losa? She's a really... You're a really big kid.
Ah, there you are. Husband, would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
The young woman seems about to raise her hand, but quickly remembers.
Who indeed? Why, my name...
The children break out.
I say, it's...
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and get, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. As quickly as they came, the clouds...
Good luck, Chief.
Go!
Got this wolf on a leash now.
Name? Well, you aren't here on my list.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out and examines your face.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence. The elf reaches towards you to continue his examination, and you slap his hand down.
Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... You have my apologies, dwarf. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Take this book, for example. I understand it is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created... Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their...
The elf's face freezes.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curios. Now, please, run along.
No amount of pestering will get...
Here to register, sir. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of...
Sorry you're upset, sir. But you head on in now.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out throats and best.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor...
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head.
There are others whose lives...
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
By all means, do as the officer says.
She reaches for her collar and...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked...
Precisely.
What's happened?
heap on the floor. She's breathing normally.
What happened? You?
The lizard's eyes close. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding. The Magister lies... The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet, black nose. The dog notices you for the first time. It sneezes suddenly.
Can't smell. God, please, make it stop. Oh. Too much. Too much.
The dog whines.
Long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. Good to see you, Bishop. Now I know who ought to answer for this collar.
Thank the gods!
He eyes the collar circling your...
Another source!
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Like you don't know?
He whispers loudly.
Don't just cower there, Rix!
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. The Magisters look to each other. Then...
Your lies end here!
God damn it! To get off this wreck and quick!
Through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No. What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid. No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back.
I know your god did not gift you with much. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified... Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over.
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick thrust.
I am trying, and I will be damned if I let the lives of some... Go on, go. Swim or drown or do whatever takes your...
Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
The marking on the door was painted recently. You press your palm against the door to open it. It doesn't budge. The moment you touch the door, your back...
chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first. Just
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us in here.
The Magister lies on the...
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a Wait, Voidwoken!
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph.
Doesn't it? Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
Dead but alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched blood, quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister C1's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. C1 struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
This is it! She's going down!
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Fran! My hat! Oh, damn it! Floating a few good miles out by now. Am I the lone survivor? Which means I better get a move on. Brachus Rex. A fella builds his throne on the backs of thousands, and the Order lets his statue stand.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his side. He shrugs and continues the game with the mirror, inspecting inside his nostrils and around the back of his knees.
Sauce?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard.
I don't see any sauce on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am. But it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they've made it to shore.
You. I know you.
Thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. Now, I wonder in which order.